Welcome, I'm Darren, and I'll be your guide today as I rank the U.S. basketball team cards in the NBA sets. I'm not including any of the 1999-2000 top sets, whether it's Finest, Bowman's Best, Stadium Club, Topps Gold Label. I don't want to get into those cards because they're their own mess, and there are some cool cards there, but I just don't want to get into that portion of these card sets. I want to be looking at the 92, 94, and 96 sets. And in that case, I'm also not including the 95-96 Upper Deck set for the simple reason that there's not really a design to them. They're just amazing images. Although I do have to note that I will be getting back to that statement very shortly. So I pulled aside 8 cards that were released either as subsets or as insert sets between the 91-92 sets and the 95-96 sets to look at here with these different designs. And frankly, I like this list of designs better than I do the actual card sets that were built entirely for the various U.S. basketball team cards. Those are really cool cards, but these, I think, on average, look a lot more interesting, which is very much accurate because these cards are supposed to be kind of like advertisement cards in the main NBA sets to really get NBA fans excited for the Olympic teams. So that is certainly a success about all of these cards. But like I said, I've got 8, so I've got kind of like 3 honorable mentions, and then I've got a top 5 is kind of the way that it works out. And it begins at number 8 with the 1992-93 NBA Hoops cards, which are really the Tournament of America cards. These cards are pretty good. I do like the cards. In fact, I think that they're better than most cards that are released today. It's that the cards were still built very much around the action of the game here with this set, but they do have 4 different things that are very distinct about the cards that hold them back. And it starts off with the card design because in 92-93 NBA Hoops didn't really have a great card design, and their subset design wasn't all that great as well. It's a design that works a lot better for like the inside stuff cards where the design is so bold. The elements in the design are so bold it stands out. With this card, it just kind of blends in with the action and kind of diffuses the action, but that leads me to the second point, which is that the images aren't all that great in the card. The images are okay, but the photography wasn't very good here with these Tournament of America Tournament of America games, so it's kind of lackluster in that regard. And that actually leads me straight into number 3, which is the fact that this is not even about the Olympics. This is about the Tournament of America, which means that the Dream Team isn't even an Olympic team yet. They're just trying to qualify here with these games, and rest assured, I'm pretty sure that they're going to make it to the Olympics. But it means that it's not even the Olympics side of the Dream Team, which kind of notches it down a little bit more. It makes these cards as a really cool curio. But it is a shame because these are among the few cards that have ever been made showing the Dream Team players in action. And it's not even the Olympics. I understand they wanted to get this card set out, but it really does kind of diminish the excitement about the card. But the big one is number 4, which is that there is no Olympic insignia on here or even the U.S. basketball team logo. So the card doesn't even celebrate the Olympics or the Dream Team for that matter. It's a strange set. And like I said, again, I do like these cards. It's just that this is not a great card to celebrate the Dream Team. And all the other ones that we're going to be looking at here go anywhere from really good to great. Even at number 7, where I have Flair, and this is where I'm getting back to that statement I made about the 95-96 Upper Deck cards, where these cards are no different than the regular NBA cards. It's just that they happen to show the players in their uniforms. But the reason I wanted to put it in here is because these cards are so much better than the rest of the cards in the set. These cards stand out distinct, strong. I really like the way that they look. They look like a subset. This is where the 94-95 Flair design rings strong. Some of the cards do come out pretty good, but it's hit and miss in the 94 set. Most of the cards don't, but all the Dream Team cards do look really good. So I'm going to flag them to simply say, hey, guess what? This is where the set was successful. But I'm not giving it any more credit than that. But this also brings me to a close with 7 and moves me into number 6. And now we're making a leap forward because now we're moving into really good cards with the 95-96 Fleer Ultra insert set. And this card is kind of the exact inverse of the 92 Hoops card. In the case of this card, this is a card that is a grand celebration of being American. And it's not a grand celebration of the player. I mean, the player basically disappears into this card because it's all about the flag motif. Basically, it's like being draped in a flag with streamers streaming down around you, with a loop of the national anthem being played. It is a grand celebration of America and Americanness. And I love that about this card. It looks really nice. It has a nice fancy quality to it, but there's nothing that reads well. I don't mind. I don't care. I still like it, but it could be a whole lot better. And so that's why I'm pausing here and saying, okay, I like it. It's not a top 5 card, not at all, because look, you've got to at least be celebrating not the Dream Team, it's 96, but you've got to be celebrating these basketball players. And that's what this card set kind of does. But it's not about the player, it's about the American team. And while that's noble, it's still quite lacking, at least in comparison to the top 5. And at number 5, I am shocked to find that this is where I have the 91-92 NBA Hoops card, because this is the classic Dream Team card. If you're going to think about a Dream Team card, it is going to be this card. This may be the greatest portrait card of all time. It's a really, really, really good portrait. And then up above, it has an American flag draped okay, that's probably more of a French flag, but still, when you look at it, you don't think of French flag, you think American. And the simplicity of the design, where it's just enough, it's a splash of design, splash of patriotism, but it's a focus on the player. It's a great combination. Because over in Impal, they did do really good portraits as well, because the portraits came from the exact same photo shoot. And the cards do a good job of celebrating the player. Well, no, they do a good job of framing the player, but they don't celebrate anything. And so the cards are very lackluster, and they're more like 8x10s. Whereas with NBA Hoops, they have a card that is less stated, except for that one theme up at the top, which is so strong. And the way that works together makes these cards amazing, amazing portraits. But they're only amazing portraits, they're not amazing cards. When you jump over to the equivalent set in Skybox, now we're talking about something different, because now we're getting into the whole combination, great shots of the players, and incredible cards. I mean, absolutely incredible cards. I love the way that these cards look. I have a tough time keeping this at number 4 because this is just so much fun. You know, Skybox is all about making these really flashy, exciting cards that bring out an excitement around the player. I happen to like the 1990 cards designs better than 91, but the 91 card designs are still great. But I think we can all agree that the best player cards in this entire set are the Dream Team cards, where they really play around with the flag in some fancy, fun ways. Whether that's a 3D effect or a 2D effect, it doesn't matter. These cards are so cool and so creative and so amazing. And again, I really do want to move them up a little bit further, but the 3 that I've got ahead of this, well, one of them is absolutely not moving, but the other 2 have a bit of an edge, simply because as much as I love these Skybox cards, from 1991, in 92 they did insert cards that for me have just a little bit of an edge. I mean, just barely. I don't even think that they are as good of cards, except for the fact that whenever I look at it, I just go, that's an amazing insert set. And that's all I can think. It really kind of distracts me. And it leaves me speechless, so to speak. Because when I look at the card, I go, okay, that's inspired by the football set. And then I don't know what to say about it. And so I'm not even going to. It's a card that for the most part speaks for itself. But I do want to comment about there's a design theme on it, which is they have a medal, but they also have the ribbon that the medal's hanging from. And that ribbon is largely unadorned, except they took the advantage of putting the stats for the player in the ribbon which I think is a really cool thing because the stats don't need to be very complex. It's just from one series, 1 year, basically, one series of games. And so they were able to stick it in there, which most of the time you're not even going to notice, but it means that you get the statistics, and yet on the back, it's all just a simplified card design where it simply talks about the player's presence on the Dream Team. And that's it. And I look at that card and I go, that is just an amazing, amazing card. And like I said, I don't know what else to say about it, so I'm going to presume that you've got a pretty good idea of why it's a number 3 card. But that begs the question, okay, so what do I have at number 2 that's better than either of the Skybox cards? And that's the 93-94 Fleer Ultra Dream Team cards. Or not Dream Team cards, Dream Team 2 cards, excuse me. I mean, look, it's the high gloss cards from Fleer Ultra, the glow, it's got the gold foil. That flag, dude, that flag. And the tight shots, portrait shots of all the players. And that flag, I mean, when I did the preview slide for the Fleer Team USA cards, I used this as the backdrop because I couldn't think of anything else. It was just, yeah, it's amazing. It's purely amazing, and I really don't know what else to say about it. I don't know what else I need to say about it. It is incredible, but it's not number 1 because number 1 can only be one thing, or more correctly, 3 things. It is the 1991-92 Skybox triple card portrait. These cards are incredible. This is one of God's gifts to the sports card world, and I have always loved these cards. This is one of the most distinct cards or card groupings of all time, and look, right now I don't know what to say about this because this card is so amazing. You could do an entire video about it, and I know because I did that, and I uploaded it yesterday on the Sports Trading Card Hall of Fame. So if you want to know all the things I want to say, I have a 20-minute video over there talking just about this card, and right now I've got all that stuff kind of jumbled up in my head, so I can't even straighten it out. But again, do I need to? Just like with the Ultra card, what do I really need to say? I mean, this is so incredible, so brilliant, so perfect that it speaks for itself, and I'm going to let it speak for itself. And that is my ranking of the regular NBA card set cards, whether it is a subset card or insert card, for the U.S. basketball team for either the 92 Olympics, the 94 World Games, or the 96 Olympics. And that's, yeah, it's my ranking. So definitely let me know if you think that there's a difference in the order. I can't really imagine there'd be much of it. Probably the 96 or 92 Skybox insert cards, the one that might get shifted around. So definitely let me know in the comments below about what changes you would make to that. Also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I urge you to do so, and thank you very much for watching.